In Genesis 1, verse 27, it says, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them." And this kind of relates to my own struggle, because when I worship, I'm never really sure what to think about in regards to God. When I listen to music, say for like a soundtrack of a movie, I can think about the movie, not that I'm worshiping it, but that I can visualize the art form and I can understand that. But there's really nothing that accurately describes all of what God is. But recently I feel like he's given me a new perspective on this, and I wanted to share that. So here we have Moses with the burning bush. And if you were to show this image to a child or someone who doesn't know the story, it just looks like a man in a burning bush. But because they don't know the rest of the story, they don't have the whole context of what this means, what this event leads up to. This story, for example, is depicted in the movie The Prince of Egypt, where Moses gets called by God to go and talk to Pharaoh to try and get the Israelites to be set free. And you can watch that movie. You can understand the events that take place in it, him going to talk to Pharaoh, the 10 plagues, them being led through the sea as it gets parted. And you can realize that in this movie, it's animated at about 24 frames per second, which means that with a runtime of over 2 hours, there's roughly over 127,000 total images in the movie. Now, again, I can watch the movie, I can memorize the events, but I'm not going to be able to memorize every single image that takes place to make up all the events and all the relationships and all the emotions that happen throughout it. I can relate to the entire movie, but I'm not going to be able to remember every single one. If we zoom out a little further, we can find out that this movie was directed by Brenda Chapman, Simon Wells, and Steve Hickner. Now I can watch the movie, I can understand its messaging, I can understand the story, I can look up their lives and try and piece together the events that happened that led them to helping direct this movie, to creating it, and I can kind of get an emotional connection to that. But if we zoom out further, the film took more than 4 years to make and involved over 425 animators. Now, it's theorized that people can comfortably maintain around 150 stable relationships, which means even if I was able to look up all of those animators' lives, let alone all the other people that were probably involved in making the movie, I would not be able to really get a connection to all of their stories. I'd eventually start to disassociate. I can't comprehend all of the events that took place, that had to take place to make it. Now, if we zoom out even further, I can't begin to comprehend all the events that had to take place from the time of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt up until the movie being created to tell the story, to retell it. I can't comprehend the entirety of human history that happened up until God talking to Moses through the burning bush, nor all the history that happened up until the Prince of Egypt movie being made, or all the history that is still happening, that is still being created, of what we call humanity, of what we call man. And all of that was created in one singular image that is God. That is the infinity of God.